There are women who live their lives hating the opposite sex, likely because of things called father wounds, maybe even a past relationship that hurt them they hadn't healed from. Maybe one experience that made them go from desiring true love within the opposite sex to completely believing it doesn't exist. It is unfortunate, but understandable that these women feel as though there is no such thing as divine true love when they haven't seen it with their own mom and dad, grandparents, siblings, friends, and even for themselves. Their fathers took part in creating their existence and no longer wish to be a part of the unfolding. It is easy to find compassion for these women who don't understand a divine love is meant for them after not being cherished by your own parents. The only love we know as a child is that of our guardians, reaching for nothing other than a warmth and the love of those who raise us. So it makes sense as teenagers and adults we look for love outside of ourselves because that is all we have ever known to do. So with this, we don't go searching within for our own love to then express that through our own energy, causing this divine counterpart to come and meet you where you're at. Instead, we look for love outside of ourselves. Women begin to look for validation they hadn't received from their fathers, and so this makes the lady feel as though she is valuable and she is worthy, but what she doesn't realize is her physical is no longer a child. She must grow up now, emotionally, and begin to love herself and treat herself the way she hasn't seen it before from the male to the female. What a confusing transition to the woman who knows not true love and has only looked outside herself for love. She is not to be blamed for what the men in her life lack to show, to be delicate with her existence, to never acknowledge it. She begins to lose her self-worth early, begins to believe she needs to earn love to experience it, because it was always absent. Not knowing what true love is and the insecurities within the males that approach coming to her with the illusion of love through their words, gifts to overcompensate for their lack they feel within they don't want her to notice. Then comes the breadcrumbs because she does not know how to bake her own loaf, so she settles for the trail of little to nothing, leading her to a pit of her own sorrows that was caused by her father and all the other men that she saw and encountered growing up, waiting for her to fall to her death, or depression, rather. She thought the trail led to love. She thought the trail was love. Accepting little to nothing only led her to receiving nothing at all, thinking one day he might. Not understanding once he has seen you eat from an empty plate served and be satisfied, why bring her a full one? You served him a plate that read you weren't worthy. Why would he serve you a plate that says you are? As within, so without, you wouldn't accept it. This type of woman always claims she wants a man who will see her worth. How likely if she doesn't see her own? Asking him to see beyond all of the dark walls covering your true essence made of brick, pretending it's glass. I'm an open book, she says. Asking to be loved, naked, and refusing to reveal all of you. Then sexually, without knowing the man, his mind, and his spiritual connections, you go and reveal all of you so soon and too soon. It isn't for love, it is for validation that you get for a moment and the both of you leave feeling drained. So satisfying, isn't it? Understand that as within, so without is a law of our universe. You are not satisfied within. How on earth is someone outside of you going to make you feel true contentment when within you is always looking for something to carry you to the next moment, where you'll find yourself at ease for a second and back to where you started? She must go back to where it started, back to her father, back to the relationship that hurt her, back to the beginning, and understand that she needs that original pain to be felt so deeply that it pushes out with it all that came afterwards. She doesn't understand that she is worth more than her body, but that is the only validation she has ever received. Maybe if her father were present, she would understand her worth comes not from her body, but from her presence, her existence, her mere essence. There is nothing a newborn baby must do or be to be loved. They just are. And there is so much love that surrounds them. She never experienced herself allowed to just be when she grew up, and this caused a feeling of lack within her, making her believe she needed to perform or wear less because that's when she was noticed. She doesn't know that she is noticed even when she is fully clothed, simply because of the way her aura ripples through the air into beings that are around her, causing them to notice. The father being absent in her life caused her to be absent in her own. If her father didn't love her and show her that just because she is worthy, her learning to love herself simply because will be much more difficult, but possible. And it is easy to understand why this woman would see others getting attention from men, seeing it as if these women are more worthy than she is, because males notice those ladies more, not her. It isn't that this woman isn't being noticed, it's that the males that show this type of attention is never the attention she thinks she wants. The women who get this type of attention from the males who only give it to get it back in a twisted way of self-validating off of other women's insecurities only leave feeling abused and misused, not adored. And they don't feel adored because that's not what's happening. She feels depleted because she is deliberately being depleted of her self-worth and self-esteem. She knows there is more to her, but why show that when she gets more attention showing less? She listens to the woman online who tells her she should use a man for his money. Then in return, she expects to be cherished and loved. The law of cause and effect tells her she is going to be used, and she begins to find herself in shock at the fact that she was used for her body. What she put out came back to haunt her 10 times worse. Money is just money. Your body is your temple, as is others. She did not respect the temple of the one she chose to use, and so her body was used in return. You cannot escape the laws of the universe. Her inner child is screaming at her father. Her inner teen is screaming at those boys. Her inner self is screaming at her to just heal her, let her out of this cage with these chains she's put around her play, around her love, around her heart. But she won't, because she's never been loved, so why would she love herself? She only ever felt pain, and if this is what life is, why would she give herself a different experience? Different is new. New is scary. Why choose scary when there's an option of comfort? She begins to find comfort in the pain, because this is what ties her to her father, and she feels if she lets go of the pain, she lets go of her creator. It's painful. But it is also just a silly thought that isn't real, and that is only there to keep her feeling pain. She has only ever felt pain, so she feels she doesn't deserve love, because what is it? How can I experience what I don't even understand is possible to experience? She accepts all that tears her down, doesn't want it, and also doesn't understand she is the one creating it by not releasing it. And she wants love, but whenever something good happens, whenever love does happen, she pushes it, because the foundation will be built upon pain, and the relationship will end on pain. So she says, let me push you away before you can hurt me. And that is why her inner child and her inner teen, her inner self is begging and crying inside, asking to be released and set free. It shouldn't be her job to love herself the way her father never did, but is there any going back to change what her father did or did not do? No. So what option does she have other than to begin to see her self-worth and no longer allowing her insecurities and the male's insecurities to run her life into the ground that she does not want to be in? No longer accepting nor expecting to be hurt. She allowed her tears to be the waters of the healing for her pain, washing away the wounds of the masculine.